The traders are calling this one of the most significant days they've seen on Wall Street. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Liz. We're joined by Tyler Vernon of Biltmore Capital, along with Dennis Neal and Sandra Smith. You are buying today, but let's talk about what is on your radar at the moment, the number one thing that you're looking at as you pick apart this market.
Well, we're actually looking at FedEx earnings for tomorrow. They're going to be a great barometer to what's going to be happening. Last quarter, they talked about they hadn't seen a slowdown in Europe. They started seeing a slowdown in Asia. So that's going to be a great barometer to what really is going on here and abroad over the next quarter.
It's interesting. They haven't seen a slowdown in Europe. We hear that from some of the big global names. But Dennis Neal, what about you? What are you watching right now?
Well,
opportunities slim to find these days. All right, thanks, gang, very much. We're going to be hearing more from Tyler in just a minute. In fact, he's got a host of names that he's picking right now. Again, and he's with Biltmore Capital. And Tyler, let's talk about Europe, because you cannot ignore it again. And we always hear from these traders, Europe is driving the bus, and right now it doesn't feel like there are any guardrails.
No, it's out of control. It's a major macro issue. Fundamentals of the market are looking pretty good, but you know what's going on is there continues to be a plan for a plan and no action. And when you have spreads on these bonds blowing up, that's really what we're looking at. And I think things are going to get worse before they get better.
That's Europe, but let's bring it back stateside. Sort of the number one most important pivotal thing here that you look at.
Well, we're looking at a lot of things. Corporate earnings are big. It's one of the things.
They look great. Why can't the market seize upon that?
You're right, and that's why we're looking at it. They look great, and it's really provided a put on this market. So, but if it didn't look good, can you imagine where the market would be? So I think that's a fundamental part that's drawing us in.
Housing matters too, but right now is a day where this guy is buying for his clients. What are you looking at right now? Let's pick your first one, and it's Brandywine.
Yeah, Brandywine, it's a REIT here, has no exposure to Europe. It's a REIT here in the U.S., A+ office space.
Real estate investment trust.
Real estate investment trust. It's done a great job. Didn't get into a lot of the issues that a lot of REITs did as far as refinancing. It underperformed this year.
It's down about 17%, yep. but the yield?
Yeah, the yield is 7%.
Yeah, so we'll take that yield.
So yeah, even if this thing bounces around sideways, we're having insider buying going on right now. So for a lot of reasons, we like that stock.
He also likes Intel. Now, obviously, 2 days ago, Intel warned not necessarily on demand, but on supply issues that have been crunched due to the Thai floods. But you still like this name. Why?
Well, I think that's a high-class problem to have, to not have enough of the hard drives to be able to get them out there. So
okay, does it not worry you? Because this is what I've heard from some other people. Does the company not lose a little bit of credibility for not having come out with this a little bit sooner, considering that the flood started in July? And we heard from other names that were very worried about this, such as Toyota and TiVo and other names that came out and very honestly said, hey, this is going to affect us.
Yeah.
Took Intel a while.
Well, yeah, I think they probably could have handled it better, but I think they also got beat up as a result of that. So down big yesterday. I think Best Buy helped bring them down. They're down to about a 10 PE, where the industry is about 12 to 14. Again, 3.5% dividend, and there's going to be a technology upgrade cycle. A lot of governments and a lot of companies are sitting on Windows XP, and they're going to need to upgrade and get better computers.
That happens early 2012 or late?
I think it happens late 2012, right. But normally that's every 3 years. It's now every 6, and I think that's a catalyst that's not worked into the stock.
That's when your company says, okay, you get a new computer, which we all love because it takes a while sometimes when the economy is tough. And your final pick, Freeport-McMoRan, FCX, and this one's gotten hit over the past year, and I would think that up until recently, copper prices looking very healthy, but Freeport just can't make a go of it. Now's the time to buy?
Well, again, it's pretty, I think, ballsy standing up here talking about as copper prices are plummeting to buy this company. But one of the real catalysts of this is what's going on in China and India. You have an emerging middle class. China's going to want 5 to 10% more copper every year over the next 10 years. So there's a major demand for the metal as more and more infrastructure goes into the ground. Cars, energy infrastructure, a lot of demand there.
There is a little bit of a yield here, about 2.6%. Tyler, it is time for you to stuff our viewers' stockings with the number one moneymaker. What is your number one pick right now going into 2012?
Well, the strategy in general is going to capitalize on what's going on in Europe. We think that situation is going to get worse. We think that there's going to be some bailouts that need to take place, and that there's going to be a lot of euros that are going to be printed. So we think going against as far as shorting the euro through, I think it's EUO, it's a double short, the euro.
Right. And this is ProShares ultra short, so it overshorts the euro.
Yeah, it's going to move 2 to 1, but it's also a great hedge against a U.S. equity portfolio because you see, like today, with problems going on in Europe, the euro plummeting in value. So is the U.S. equity market.
Right.
So
Let me just say,
be a good hedge.
For the year, it's down 1%, but for the month, it's up 10.8%. Tough months for the euro. All right, Tyler, thank you so much. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Liz. Great to be here.
Tyler Vernon with Biltmore Capital. We appreciate you being here. Coming up, Charlie Gasparino joining the conversation to talk about Merrill Lynch. Yet another reason to have a lot of trouble with banks.